Hello, and welcome to this overview on Centrify Infrastructure Privileged Services. Over the next 10 minutes, I will address your business challenges and how Centrify can assist in solving these challenges whilst increasing your security posture. Centrify secures your identities across three key pillars, which include applications, endpoints, and infrastructure. In the context of this presentation and demonstration, we are going to be focused around adaptive MFA for privilege access, privilege elevation, shared password management, privileged access requests, secure remote access, and auditing and monitoring. It's also important to note that this solution is built on a single platform that is underpinned with the Centrify Analytics service, which provides risk-based scoring and behavior analysis. Centrify solves many business challenges. Now, the primary goal that we're going to be looking at here is providing secure access to privileged accounts, increasing the security posture, and providing tracking and auditing of the usage of those accounts. We're going to be looking at this across a few different use cases, including implementing multi-factor authentication for access at a granular level, accessing privileged accounts without requiring the knowledge of those credentials across a variety of platforms, using workflow to gain access to these accounts, and then also break glass functionality by checking out the password on mobile devices, and then also look at protecting accounts such as Twitter and then running compliance reports. It's also important to note that the Verizon Data Breach Investigatory Report 2018 has recently been released, and you'll notice the graphic on the right hand side that out of 2,000 plus data breaches, over 10% of these were due to privilege misuse. These are the types of business issues that we're going to be looking at solving within the next 10 minutes. There are 6 use cases that we're going to look at implementing here, one of which, firstly, is around providing strong authentication to the platform. We're then going to look at seamless auto login for our users with using shared accounts. We're then going to use a workflow-based request to provide access to resources with the MFA. We're then going to look at implementing break glass functionality for checking out passwords, and then protecting web resources, and finally reporting. So here we go with the demonstration. I'm now logged into the corporate portal as myself, Ian Stimpson. We can see from the visibility here that I can see what's going on in my environment. I'm on my infrastructure tab. I can see any recent activity. I can see that Anita, one of my users, is currently logged into one of my servers. So I'm now switching on to Anita's desktop, and I'm on her Windows 10 desktop. I'm also just going to mirror my iPhone onto my screen here as well. So when I go to log in as Anita, click on Next, we'll see that it's prompting me for my Active Directory password, but also it's requiring a second factor of authentication. In this example, we're using the Centrify mobile authenticator with push notification. You'll notice on the right hand side that the iPhone has received a push request. I need to open this up, select approve, and then I've then provided access for Anita into the corporate portal. Once in the corporate portal, it's literally defaulting initially to the user portal. From here, as Anita, we're then going to switch over to the administration portal. On the administration portal, we'll see that we've got our various systems that Anita's got access to. Now, these are listed directly, and they're also provided access within sets. We're accessing this via the UK data center set. One of the first use case demos is accessing our Unix Linux device, which is our NSEN6 device. I'm going to select the root account. Quite simply from here, this is providing my seamless access and single sign-on securely into this Linux resource, as you can see there. For the next demonstration, we're then going to provide access within our scenario of gaining access to our Synology NAS device. This would be similar for NAS devices or switches routers over SSH. So again, I'm going to select request access to this account, providing Anita's part of the role that's got access to the Synology shared account. She can select this, and then from here, again, it's going to provide that seamless authentication straight into the session. For the next demonstration, we're going to now look at how we can supplement the security and increase the posture by implementing workflow-based approvals. So for our scientific Linux device, we select request the account. We can see that the root account has actually got a padlock. This means it's protected and Anita needs to request access to this resource. By selecting the account, Anita now needs to put in the reason behind this, and this will be sent to the approver. I'm going to change the window, and I'm just going to require access just for 5 minutes, just for demonstration purposes. So we'll enter in the details there, and then submit the request. If I now switch into my my portal as myself, as Ian Stimpson, I can actually go across here to my request screen, and I'll be able to see from off the request screen the approval request from Anita. We can see that this is an appending estate. I can read the details behind this. I can then select to either approve or reject, and I can also change the time window that I'm providing access to. We'll leave it as default from what Anita has requested. If I now go back onto this resource as Anita, go back to my requests, I can see that this request has been approved. And if I go back into the systems, if I select this, the scientific Linux device, now what we'll notice here is now that this has been approved, the padlock's been removed, and Anita can select the root device. Now, because of the security posture, we've actually implemented strong authentication on this resource as well as workflow. So for this example, again, we'll use the Centrify mobile authenticator with push, but other options are available, as you can see here, from email to text message. So we're selecting the mobile authenticator. From off of here, we'll see the push notification go down to the device, and then Anita has now got access into this resource by selecting approve. So if we now close this window, the next part of the demonstration is looking at, again, another system, and this time we're going to use the Windows 2016 server. So as Anita, I'm going to select this resource. I'm part of a role that's got access to this, so workflow won't be required. When I go to select the account, we can see that I'm provided with a shared account, AD managed in this scenario. If I then select that account, this is going to provide Anita with that seamless access and authentication into that Windows 2016 server. Now for the final part of the demonstration, we're going to look at using the mobile device to check out passwords. So break glass functionality, servers crashed, no network stack, and you need to gain access. So as you can see, my resources here, the one I'm going to select is the member server. So from off of here, when I go down to the member server, I'm going to select to check out the password. So we've entered in our PIN to gain access to the protected resource. We can see that we've checked this out for a 1 hour period. As you can see, the password there itself is rotated, and it's a very strong password. We can also elect to check this password back in as well. And that's showing the break glass functionality to gain access to passwords from a mobile device. Now the final part from Anita's point of view, we're going to go back to the user portal, and within here we can see that Anita's got access to various different systems, and one of which is the corporate Twitter account. Now in this scenario, we want to ensure that we're going to protect the corporate Twitter credentials by firstly hiding them from the users, but also implementing MFA for access. So again, Anita's prompted for the mobile authenticator, or her method that she's selecting. From here we'll get a push notification on the mobile device. Approve this on the mobile device. So we can see that where the bell is, we're going to select approve. The request has now been approved, and this is going to now seamlessly log Anita into the corporate Twitter account. So I'm now back into the portal as Ian Stimpson. So I'm back in as the auditor, and I'm going to look at some reports here. So one report I'm going to look at first is under infrastructure, and I'm going to look at user activity. So this is all the recent activity on various systems, domains, and databases. So what we can see from here, we'll see that Anita's been quite busy, so there's a lot of reports here for Anita, the different systems that she's got access to. We can also see myself as a user and also my other user, Chris Morgan. So we can see all the different systems that they've gained access to. Now, I might decide as an auditor that Anita shouldn't have access to one of these systems. So I want to actually drill back down a bit further and look at the user and the specific rights they've got. So I'm going to go into here, select the user and the rights that they've got across these accounts. So we're going to select Anita. And this is going to give me a report of what Anita's got access to and what she can do on those accounts as well. So view, check out, log in across these various different systems. So I'm going to now go back to my security overview to the infrastructure side. We can see here where we started at the beginning, we can see that Anita has got an active session on the 2016 server. I've got the capability here to watch Anita. As you can see, it's now watching the session that Anita's actually occurring, what she's actually doing, all live monitoring. I've also got the capability here to also terminate the session as well. So it could be that unscrupulous users carrying out tasks that I don't want them to do. So as you can see on Anita's console, that's now been closed. So with that, it's time to wrap up this demonstration. You can see that from the details that we've really looked at here, we've provided the capability of securing the protected privileged accounts, driven this via workflow, used multi-factor authentication policies with full reporting. Thank you for listening.